Welcome, Matthew, to the podcast for the first time.
Cheers, mate.
We needed a specialist AFL man to come on for the AFL finals, so welcome.
Appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having me.
But
Flats already given the CD,
mate.
Yeah.
Free-go jitters.
Bit of pressure.
Big
I think you're the first guy we've had on that knows a tiny bit
I was
about
going to say he's
AFL.
the first Reddit, but he's actually not.
yeah.
Who else?
Shout out to Rosto, mate.
To who?
Eddie Rostron. Has
Oh,
red
yeah.
hair.
Of course. Right. Sorry, Eddie. Yeah, mate. Brizzy Lions going pretty good heading into the finals.
Yeah.
Where do you see them finishing up? Obviously, as a fan, you'd be saying that they're going to
Yeah, a
win.
bit biased, but I definitely reckon they'll make the grand final. They haven't lost it all this year at home, so they're a good chance.
At all? They haven't lost at home at all.
Nah, not a single
Who do you
game.
think's the
Gabba.
biggest threats? So, Lions, obviously, and who else?
Melbourne are also starting to come good. They got their captain back as well, so they're probably favourites, I reckon, for the grand final. And I definitely Brisbane. Brisbane are in a lot of people's. Brisbane are in a lot of people's grand final, that's for sure, just because of their record at home. Because all they got to do is win 2 games at the Gabba, and then they're into the granny.
What's their reputation going to be like? Like, in recent years, we know that the Lions have choked in recent years. So
Both
can we
times to Richmond.
can we put that aside and
Actually,
can we positively say that they're going to make the granny this year?
Yes, I just told you. Their record at the Gabba is pretty elite this year, especially. So they're a pretty good chance.
Say less, brother.
So we'll get to your AFL multi bit later, mate. But I think it's important that we touch on the NRL boys because we're also heading into the
Fuck, it is
finals.
hot.
Mick,
Yeah, mate.
Melbourne Storm on Friday night. How do you see that one going? Because heaps of variety of opinions here.
Yeah, look, I think it's well documented that I'm not a Broncos supporter.
Even though I was born in Brisbane.
I'm from the country. No, look, the Storm are at $2.40. That suggests, obviously, outsiders. Broncos are at home. I think with Pappenhausen's back, he's coming off the bench, I think the Storm win that. They're in hot form,
It's
mate.
just deluded.
And I think the Broncos might just be a bit inexperienced at this time of the year. The Storm always win their first finals game, so balls in your court, betters, punters. I'd get on.
Slightly a response as a Broncos fan, mate.
It's quite deluded.
Is
Adam
it?
Reynolds ain't losing shit. Reece Walsh ain't losing shit. We literally got the 3 best players on the column.
Mate, Reece Ross
And they
will
didn't
have
play
10
last week.
errors in the first half, and it'll cost you the game.
Okay.
Noted. We'll move on.
We'll get to the viewers' hot takes because I know the Broncos. There's a few hot takes about the Broncos there. The other game was on the Saturday. Roosters Raiders, I believe, are on the Saturday, Mick. Is that right? Or is it?
Yes, you are right.
Where do you see that one?
Roosters Knights.
Roosters Knights. No, it's not. Roosters Raiders. I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, sorry. Well, it's Penrith Wars on the Saturday, the first game.
No, Roosters Sharks. That's right.
Penrith Wars. What do you think, Flats?
I'm back in Panthers. That's obvious choice. The Wires are fucking dog shit, really. They've fucking gotten 4 Lockies wins in a row against shit teams, and now they're coming up against the best team. They're going to get fucking destroyed. Put to sleep. And then
Flats,
you Wires
is Flats
fans
a
are gonna
hater?
get fucked.
Look, I think Penrith are definitely favourites, and they should be. I don't see a world where they don't make the grand final.
Agreed. And if the Wires lose, which I'm fairly sure they're going to, who do they then play in the next round of finals? Is it the Knights Raiders game or is it the Roosters
I
Sharks?
think it's the Roosters, isn't it?
I'm actually not sure.
Because
I
either way,
assume they verse 6th, 7th.
either way they then move. No, I think they verse 5-8, so it'd be Knights Raiders. I'm fairly sure, but either way they still have to go to New Zealand and play.
Look, I think the one thing the Wires definitely have more than Panthers is obviously they're going to be a bit more hungry.
How did they go at home as well with the home ground?
Yeah, pretty good.
They're good at home.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
obviously
it's whoever loses out of Panthers, Warriors versus Knights or the Raiders.
Or the
Right.
Roosters.
yeah.
The
So,
Raiders.
Oh, Raiders.
so obviously the
Raiders.
Wires are going to be more hungry. They haven't been to a grand final since 2011. I think think there is a slight chance Penrith come in too cocky, too confident, and they might get upset, but I don't think so. Raiders should be in the 8. The way they've played this year. I know you're a supporter of them, but they've been awful.
Yeah, they do. They showed ticker. Full stop. Ricky Stewart is the GOAT.
Well, yeah, and then the Sharks and the Roosters. The Roosters done unbelievably well to get to the point where they are now. They finished 7th on the ladder, and they were 14th
I reckon
a month
Roosters
ago.
are the only team that don't deserve to be in.
Well, their last month has been pretty impressive, to say the least.
No.
They must have had an easy draw or something, because I swear they're still bad. The wins they've gotten over the last month, obviously they beat the Rabbits, but I think they were versus trash teams.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the hot takes on Instagram are saying that the Roosters will get up on the weekend. So.
Yes. I did put a post out asking for hot takes. There were some rogue ones.
What do you think, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roosters. I definitely see them winning.
Who are they versing?
The Sharks on Sportsbet right now, looking at it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no real opinion on that.
Yeah.
I've been following the Roosters too closely this year.
No, very, very interesting. And I think we'll touch on a few of the hot takes that were on there, mate,
get them
because
up.
there were some good ones here. A lot of people saying that the Broncos are going to go out in straight sets. So
Yes, I did say
they
that.
lose to Storm, and then they'll lose to the Sharks and the Roosters.
I assume they're just haters like me. So
Do we think it's plausible opinion though? Obviously, could
with
happen.
the people are going to say they're inexperienced at this time of the year, but if you look at the players like Adam Reynolds, I think Adam Reynolds pushes them over the line.
You've also said here, Mick, that your hot take.
Yeah,
This might be a bit of a piss take, but the Roosters go all the way. Is that a bit of a piss take there, mate?
Is it? No, it is a piss take. The real take was Storm make the grand final, win. Pappenhausen gets the Clive Churchill medal, his second one.
Do you think that Cronulla, if they beat the Roosters, they're going to have a better chance of winning the flag?
Something about Cronulla, I just don't have confidence in.
I
don't
feel
know
like
if it's...
they could give us a 2016 Cowboys run.
Yeah, well, Nico, he's been all right, but since Origin, all that stuff, he hasn't been like a Dally M type player. But if he finds form, I can see them doing that.
Yeah.
Like Michael Morgan.
I think they need to get Matty Moreland in there.
You like this comment, Flats?
Run the ball like Trindle.
Brody says was out in straight games or straight sets, and then it's a Knights Panthers grand final.
That's a lock-in, isn't it?
That can't happen.
It can. It
Wait,
can,
what?
can't it? It can.
The Knights Panthers grand final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can't happen.
Yeah, because if Penrith lose, it could
Penrith
happen.
lose, yeah. So it could happen.
Then
Then the Wires would have been out straight sets. Yeah, Brody's got that one mixed up, I think.
Jesus, troll guy.
And Storm says, Connor says Storm by 30.
They can't.
Then the Broncos lose in straight sets to Golden Point against the Roosters. Another good one there.
I'd bet on the Storm. That's all I'm going to say.
A lot of Storm betters here, which Flatley won't be happy about.
Oh, I couldn't give a fuck.
Speaking about hot takes, though, Matt,
They betrayed the fucking Brisbane.
going back to AFL, Matty, your hot take for the AFL, what is it, mate?
For the AFL final series, my hot take is that Collingwood will be out in straight sets. They'll lose to Melbourne this Thursday. Melbourne they're just too strong at the moment. And then Carlton will beat Sydney, and then Carlton will get the job done over them. They're without Nick Dacos.
When's he back?
He's not back this week either. So he's going to be
What about
a big
Ginnivan?
loss. Ginnivan, he's shit house. No, Ginnivan's all right. He'll go well. But Darcy Moore also has a bad hamstring. Assume he'll be not 100%. And they also got another defender out as well, Murphy. So they're big outs for them. And I just think Melbourne are just coming good. They got Maxi Gorn back, and they'll get the job done. And probably
Petrarca
make it
for the, what do you even call that medal?
Brownlow.
The Brownlow.
Yeah.
Does he win it?
Petrarca, I reckon, will probably win it. He probably has the least amount of teammates taking votes off him at this point. Paying $7 on Sportsbet as well, so good value.
Jump on.
So you got Petrarca to win the Brownlow at $7.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other value you were talking about before that you think is going to be a good Brownlow bet?
Obviously
Give me a roughie.
favourites. The roughie. I've got Connor Rosie paying $67.
That's right.
You've heard it here
From
first.
Port Adelaide, yeah. So he'll be like obviously him and Zach Butters, who has had an unreal year, we're taking votes off each other, but I just think it's pretty good value considering he's either going to get 3 votes or 2 votes. So yeah.
How much would you chuck? How much would
Surely
you
there's
chuck
a
on that?
I'll chuck $3 on that one.
Yeah.
Surely there's a Brizzy Lions player in there if they're the fucking best team in the comp.
Lockie Neal.
He's fucking
paying
boring to watch.
$13, but definitely can't see that happening. Josh Dunkley's been too good taking votes of him, mate.
Yeah, that happens in league as well.
It's actually all.
Did Josh Dunkley play for the Bulldogs?
Yeah.
Is he in Brizzy now?
Yeah.
Doggy.
But
bark.
it's interesting because there's 18 players on the field, right? There's a lot of people taking votes off everyone every game. So you do have to be.
Well, Hutch was just saying there's 18 people in the field, but only midfielders ever
You
win.
just got to be a stat padder. Like
Yeah, it's a
Dacos.
midfielder's
He's the
award.
biggest stat padder in the league.
Couple of 1-2s.
Kick-outs, mate.
Hey?
Loves kick-out as well.
And mate, yeah, I think you got a multi for us prepared.
Oh, yeah.
This will be good.
Is it AFL related?
Yes, this is just
You
AFL
keep
related.
boasting on about how good your multis have been of recently. So
Yes,
give us the multi of the week.
Okay, so for the first week of the finals, I have Melbourne beating Collingwood head-to-head, paying $2. Good value. No chance Collingwood win that one. Then on Friday, I have Carlton beating Sydney, especially at Marvel. There's just no chance that Sydney will get the win over them. That's paying $1.50. Greater Western Sydney Giants to beat St Kilda. Just think Toby Green's in such good form. Great captain, All-Australian captain as well. So he's got that confidence as well coming into the game. And then I got Brisbane to beat Port, and that's just a lock-in. So all up, that's paying $7.75. Chuck the power play on, get up to $9.
Yeah, cheeky multi, mate.
Or you could do the bet return.
Nah,
Yeah, you could,
that's
but-
boring.
Could do the bet return. Was there any other hot takes or multis that you had before we move on to the Rugby World Cup, mate?
Nah, not really.
Not really.
Oh, I could see St Kilda, even though I got them to lose, I could definitely see them being a smoky for the grand finalists this year. They've got a great list.
Billings.
Billings, he's been
Steele.
out for the whole year. Steele's been injured as well.
Oh, yeah.
But players like Brad Crouch and Mitch Owens have stepped up, so they have a good list. And if they get a good run on, especially like couple home finals as well, so they're my spokey for the grand finalists this year. And the Brisbane Lions and Melbourne Demons will be in the grand final. That's a lock.
Nice.
Lock it in, Eddie.
I think just before we get to Rugby Union, Mick, we should touch on how we actually went in fantasy for this year. So we actually got 2,267th overall,
Disappointing year.
which is quite disappointing for our standards. We did get, 128th last year.
We do.
So-
It's frankly not acceptable.
It
and
is
we will be better
acceptable.
next year.
But I think from the way that we started off at like 15K after round one, which didn't help.
Midway through the year, we did some great trades, like getting Drinky in straight away. That really helped.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest, the start of the year was just all luck.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
with some of the players that were going well, with some of the injuries, it wasn't consistent throughout the year. So if you went good at the start, I don't think you would have gone
And
that well
plus,
at the end.
it was the first year we had a 17th team, so we had to buy around every round.
Yes, that's true as well.
Yeah.
You had to think about that. So yeah.
A lot of innovation. But yeah, Rugby World Cup this weekend starts Saturday morning. France versus New Zealand kick it off. That's an absolute belter of a game.
That's a great first game.
And many people are tipping that to be the grand final.
I'm not tipping that, mate.
You're not tipping that. What are you
I
tipping?
reckon
for
the All
grand
Blacks are going to smoke France.
final? Smoke them.
You
Smoke
really
the host.
just don't know who you want
No,
to go.
they'll smoke them, and then they'll peak early.
I think South Africa win it all.
Really?
Coming out of Pool B.
So let's have a quick look at the pool. So Mick, go to Pool A there.
Yeah, I'll go to Pool A.
We
I'll
got-
read them out. So Pool A, obviously you got New Zealand, France. You'd assume those two go through.
Those
They've also
two.
got Italy, Uruguay, and Namibia.
So those two go through. New Zealand, France.
That's easy as that.
Now Pool B
Next,
is interesting.
It is interesting. South Africa, Ireland, guns. Scotland, guns. Tonga and Romania.
There's Romania's an easy beat. Tonga, you could say that's an easy
Romania's
beat.
got some big boys, mate. I haven't watched them, but
Scotland, Ireland, and South Africa is going to be extremely interesting, those games, because I've talked to many different rugby heads, and they're saying South Africa in this Pool B.
Yeah, well, those rugby
Well,
heads
that
are
is
wrong.
simply deleted.
And Ireland and Scotland go through. Like
They're
Scotland's
wrong.
playing some really good footy at the moment.
Who are these sources?
Yeah.
I won't disclose.
they only just beat the All Blacks by 35 points.
I
so-
won't disclose, but yeah, it's very true. But
We'll move on to Pool
that's
C.
a very interesting pool.
Pool C, the big boys: Wales, Australia, Fiji,
This is-
Georgia,
this is
and
such-
Portugal.
Just low key, this is the most mid group.
It sucks.
Oh yeah, it's awful.
We stink.
If we can't get out of this group, then we don't deserve to go to the 2027
We don't deserve to host it,
2027
mate.
World
Can you
Cup.
even bet on that?
Mate, so the way that I
think
see
so.
it is this: Australia top the pool, and then if we top the pool, depending on whatever happens in Pool D, we would then play Argentina, who finished second in their pool, to go to Pool D there,
Yeah.
to
Pool D.
England, and then we would play Argentina in the quarterfinals, which is a very winnable game, and then we'd play France in the semis.
Mate, there's money to be made, I think.
So
with
like Australia could easily make the semi-finals. Like we have a great path to go to the
What's-
semi-finals.
What's Australia's ceiling? Like, do you see our ceiling making the grand final?
I honestly
Nah.
don't know what our ceiling is.
Our ceiling
No,
is
I
the
don't think anyone
semi-final.
does.
I think
Our
that's
ceiling
a
is the
good point.
semi-final.
Because we got so many, like, even our spine, we're like, we don't know how
We could
it's going to
surprise
go.
the world.
This is half the problem. We don't know actually. Eddie Jones and all them comes out and say we're just not showing our full potential. Like,
Yeah.
come on, fellas, give us some of it.
We're really...
I actually
we're
don't
really
know.
not-
really
It
playing
gives
the
us-
media.
It gives it a bit of a, what do you call it, like a
Look,
bit of a-
ideally, you'd like to see your team peaking at the right time, and we're not doing that. But, you know, we might
No,
just-
we've lost Owen
it's a bit of a
Farke.
mystery going into the World Cup. That's good.
No,
Yeah, I like
he's-
that.
like someone said the other day, Eddie has just taken the whole media away from the actual team and just pointed it at him. It's quite smart, to be honest. But we could be in the semi-finals at the end of whenever it is, November.
Yeah.
So, and then Pool D, we got obviously England and Argentina.
Japan.
Argentina could well top that pool. They've been playing some good footy, and England's been dross.
I
Japan,
reckon
Samoa,
England-
and Chile.
England have been mid, but I reckon their call's the same call they had when they did well in the last World Cup. I back them
Yeah.
to do well.
And then Japan, that they've improved steadily over the years. Like they could cause an upset,
They're not even mid.
but we'll see how they go.
With respect.
Flats, UFC this weekend, mate.
Yeah, big UFC card in
Now,
Sydney.
Flats, you've given some
UFC 293, I think.
you've given some multis in the past that are just like, yeah, bit how you do, but you're actually pretty good
I
at these
honestly,
ones.
yeah. I don't know if I've ever given a multi. I think I've just given horse tips.
Anyway.
But we move.
UFC multi of the week. Thomas, read it out.
Yeah, I got a 5-legger. I'm only backing them to win. You
I've
could
got
add
3
a bit
legs.
of... Huh?
Doesn't matter.
You can add a bit of spice to it. UFC 293, here we go. Start us off with Jack Jenkins to beat Chepe Mariscal. Yeah, right. Then we go into Justin Tafa to beat Austin Lane, paying $1.40. Tai Tuivasa to beat Alexander Volkov, paying $2.86. That's value. Then we go into Carlos Olberg. If you want to back this bloke to knock him out, he's going to do it, but just back him head to head. He'll win at $1.32. And then into Jamie Malaki versus John Makadesi. $1.44. This wraps up for a total of $11. But if you want to boost it, you'll get $12. So
Great pronunciation. Needs, what do you think, mate?
You're not going to put anyone on Israel and Sean?
nah, I honestly, Izzy's too short at $1.10, and I'm probably going to be backing Sean because he's the funniest cunt in the world. So, look, that's silly to bet on, but
I reckon Israel within 2 rounds, TKO.
yeah, I don't blame him. But I want this.
Funny.
He wants juicy odds.
Yeah, you always choose
No, I just want Sean is like, I don't know even know how he's on this stage. He's that loose.
Yeah, he's got some,
He's
like
a loose
yourself,
cannon.
mate.
some rogue opinions, that's for sure.
But
No,
we play on.
That's good, Tom. I think you found some value for the listeners there.
Yeah,
if there's any
so,
how about-
loyal listeners.
Well,
Have you heard of Jack Jenkins?
No, I don't follow
Yeah,
that.
there's
but-
a-
He's broken 5 of his last 7 opponents'
Yeah.
legs in the ring.
That's a great
Absolute
stat.
freak.
That's a stat for you.
I heard a podcast earlier. He said that I think Volk needs to fight 2 or 3 more fights to defend his belt, and then he becomes, like, without a doubt, the GOAT, because that's the most title defenses in what is it? What weight is it? Fucking welterweight?
no,
No,
he went up to lightweight, so I think it's featherweight.
Light-
Featherweight.
featherweight. And then Jack Jenkins will fight Volk in Australia, in Melbourne.
Well, Jack
crowd.
Jenkins, I love him. He's a stud. Volk would eat you alive.
In 2 or 3 years, though, Volk would be like 37 fighting a prime Jack
Well,
Jenkins.
Jack Jenkins shouldn't have been one of his last fight. Respectfully, I love Jack Jenkins. He's an Aussie, but you got lucky last fight. You shouldn't have got that decision.
Hope he's listening.
Heard it
He is.
first.
He probably will be.
Hope you tuning in.
Yeah, he's on the double
He's
TikTok.
absolute
So
gun, though. Who's he fighting?
Chepe Mariscal, I don't know who that is,
See you
but
later, Chepe, mate.
he
You're
should
in for a
fold
long
him.
night.
But
And Mick, to round out the pod, mate, you got an NRL multi, and I'm sure the viewers would love this one.
Yes, they will.
And just quickly before Giga kicks back this week, for any horse racing fans, he's a lock. $1.80, get bet on him.
Giddy up.
But carry over, Mick. NRL multi.
Yeah, look, this is my NRL multi for the first round of finals. It's pretty simple. Small odds for me. So, first leg, Knights to win against the Raiders. Actually, I'll start from the top. Penrith versus Warriors. Penrith to win. Knights versus Canberra. Raiders to win. And then a little 3-leg same-game multi combined in there. We'll go Young Tonamape to score. Storm to win 1-12. That'll be paying $112 if you power play. Thank you.
What's it normally?
96.
92.
I got-
doesn't
one. Yeah, it doesn't
flow
quite
off the
get that.
tongue, does
Three
it?
figures.
we're going back to UFC 293 in Sydney here. I got one more value tip for the weekend. This bloke is on his debut. He's on the. Let's get this right. He's on his debut and he's on the main card. That's impressive. That's because our Kai France pulled out early. I've got Felipe Dos Santos, 22-year-old on debut to beat Manuel Carpe, paying $4. Book it now. That is Ica value.
I like it, man.
Great
I like it.
cheapie.
Why you?
If
why-
the All
why
Out
you back
listeners-
down
if
the
the-
Oh, he's undefeated. Yes, it means nothing. I've seen highlights of this Brazilian freak show. He's a weapon on the ground. And Manuel Cape, he gets a lot of talk. Like, he's just not as good as people think he is. So
Where
$1.25 is too short. So go to Felipe Dos Santos, $4 on debut, main card in Sydney.
People are going to start thinking there's like a girl behind the camera.
No, I think
I'm actually held hostage. So
if the All Out listeners aren't happy with the value that we've given today, I'll be awfully concerned.
If you're not putting $5 in the little 100 piece I just provided.
Yeah.
and a couple of bucks on this Felipe Dos Santos on debut and main card in Sydney.
Flats
And
is
$4.
known for his UFC betting as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't fall short there.
My last card was, sad to say, fucking terrible. I gave this bloke a few tips, and I think every single one of them lost.
Listeners,
Just
let's
weird,
fight inflation together.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before we wrap it up, boys? I think this could be the last part of the year. So
Actually, just last thing, we did do a who is the goat of the goats post. Flats called, even Matt. Who do you think the goat of the goats is? Just our takes.
well, I think some people aren't educated at all because I would say Phelps is a much better goat than Messi. And I had a quick look at the stats, and Phelps only has like 20% of the votes. 23 gold
Messi-
medals, man. It's ridiculous.
Messi over the past year has shown he's the GOAT. He,
he
like
the
quite
goat of
literally,
goats,
he's won like in the space of a year. Before that, they was giving him shit because he didn't win a international trophy. He wasn't the GOAT. He comes out, wins the Cup of America, then the World Cup. Now he's just casually, lax. I'll get 140 million a year and go to the States and win another trophy.
What do you value more, being the goat of swimming or the goat of the
Yeah, I
most
get that, but like
popular sport
23
ever?
Exactly.
So are you saying Messi is the goat of goats?
Yes. What's the most? Yeah, as Mick said, the most popular sport ever, soccer. Who's the best soccer player ever?
Although swimming is like a...
Everyone
What's
swims.
the word? Like everyone swims.
Everyone
He's the
swims.
best at something everyone
He
does.
was also
except for
a drug cheat.
few people.
But that's the word. That's yeah.
You
We'll
saying
let that-
Usain Bolt should win. He's the...
Where does Don
We've
Bradman
been-
rank in this list?
He's not. He shouldn't even be on the fucking list.
Well, you can only fit 8 on
Hey,
the
we need
remarkable,
cricket.
though. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
LeBron
It's
should
a
have been
real
that
hard sport. No helmets either. Back in the day.
yeah. So go to the goats. You're saying Messi,
easily.
and who are you saying? Go to the goats. Do you need some names?
I'm
Mick?
going to say
Yeah.
LeBron. Shout out to...
Gary Ablett.
He's not even on the list.
Who was the goat of goats? So we had down Jordan, Bolt, Ali, Federer, Woods, Bradman, Messi,
Like-
I
Phelps.
reckon
Let me-
Floyd
let me-
Mayweather. He's
Yeah,
gotta be up
yeah.
there.
Let me
Floyd.
say this. People just talk about Ali because he was the first well-known boxer because he could talk well. He's not even the greatest boxer ever. And that's quite
I'd
simple.
say Floyd and Mike Tyson is really
Yeah.
close.
They're the two best.
Really close.
Yeah. And then we also did a post, who is the GOAT of the NRL? Now, this one's interesting because, like, no one ever talks about who is the GOAT of the NRL. Like, it is the most, like, it's not talked about compared to the other codes at
NRL's
all.
not conflicting enough. There's no like Skip Bayless in NRL.
Yeah.
I want someone to
So-
just non-stop every night just talk about like who's the GOAT.
So we did put it out last night, and, like, obviously these matchups are pretty dominant in the way that it should be. So Smith dominated Wally, Thurston dominated Fitler, John's much more votes than Mal, and Lockie much more than Beatson. Out of those four, who is the GOAT of the NRL? Because I think it's that four.
I think Smith's the GOAT,
But
and I think Joey Johns and JT are slightly behind him.
Smith was just a lot. Like he just played a lot more games, and he just lasted a lot longer.
Yeah, that's the
Because-
argument against him. He's in a good system as well his whole career, while JT played with some bums.
Yeah. He didn't he get he's got the most points ever.
Yeah.
So if JT plays as long as him, you could say, which he probably could have gone a couple more years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's probably up there as well.
We weren't obviously around for the Joey Johns era, and if you ask like how old he's probably, they'd say Joey Johns was like the prince. He was that good. Like obviously there's an argument for that, but we wouldn't know honestly.
Yeah,
But
it's tough to
it's all
say when
about
we haven't
us
seen
just
him.
like knowing. But what do you think, Flats? Who do you think?
I think Nathan Cleary's the GOAT.
He has the potential to be.
I think he's got more fucking chips than half those blokes we're mentioning. So
More chins.
What about Brody Croft?
Oh, Crofty.
Who do you, is there?
more chins. That was good actually.
Kane Elgie?
Hey,
Kane Elgie?
Kane LG.
Kane
Do you
LG.
think there's anyone in the current era that has potential to be the GOAT, better than all those players?
Nathan
Yeah,
Cleary.
Cleary.
Reece,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
Reece Walsh.
Reece
Oh, well, she is 20.
No, I think Cleary definitely has the most upside to be the next guy.
Pappenhausen?
No,
Not
Still
anymore,
old.
not after his injury and all that. But
Yeah,
How old is he?
unfortunately.
he's probably a bit older.
looking back already, like Cleary lost the unlosable Origin series as well. Already,
Origin's not going to help. He needs to
Origin
win
is
some
not going to help
Origins.
him.
Although
Smith
he
won 8
will
in a
have
row.
3 chips after this year. Actually, no, right? Pappenhausen will.
Well, what about Reece Walsh?
Nah.
Wins a chip this year and
Playing
wins
halves.
Origin. His first Origin.
Yeah, but
That's a good start to
it's
the
hard,
resume piece.
it's a good start to a career, but it's hard to say if he'll continue with
It
it.
could
Crazy
too,
to think
yeah.
he's younger than you, Mick. Oh, he's same age as you.
He's got a kid.
Cheats on his wife.
Anyway,
I've got
I think we'll wrap up the podcast there, boys. I think we'll wrap up the podcast there, and we might see you next week. We might not, but that could be the end of the season 2023. So,
It won't be.
catch us later.